pleasant good evening and welcome to SAT TV's Channel 9 Evening News. I am Nisha Charles.
And I am Deslin Joseph.
And we are your presenters for the evening. Thank you for joining us. Among the major developments, persons injured in a traffic accident.
Woman still missing in the British Virgin Islands.
Wife of Boji Lau charged with murder.
And in sports, West Indies player injured in car accident.
Details of these and other stories after the break.
Support local. Support SAT Telecommunications Ltd, the people's choice. Join hands with us. Come and sign up for your digital TV connection today. We got the sharpest, cleanest, brightest digital TV connection. No antiquated analog service, only pure digital and many new packages coming soon. With latest in sports, movies, children programming and much more. So if you have your flat screen TV and you want to see quality TV, join now. Sign up today for your digital television. Support local, support SAT Telecommunications Ltd, the people's choice. SAT Telecoms Ltd has obtained the exclusive rights to the 2012 Olympic Games held in the United Kingdom, and these games are the largest in history to date. The impact of these games will bring millions of viewers to the television screen. SAT Telecommunications is a supporter of the Olympics, and in extension, we support the sportsmen and the women of Dominica. Join hands with SAT Telecommunications Ltd and support our sportsmanship. Gold sponsorships at $20,000, silver at $10,000 and bronze at $5,000. Thank you for staying with us. Now for the details of the news. A new executive body was elected in January 2012 to manage the business operations of the Granby Tourism and Environmental Development Committee. In 1995, a group of men from the community of Granby formed the GTEC, and it was registered as a non-government organization. Mr. Bunty Liverpool, president of GTEC, says the group is trying to develop the social and economic aspects of the Granby operation from Tetmont to Petit Savan.
This meeting, more importantly or more predominantly, will deal with the economic side. However, we must understand that if money starts flowing, the social aspect of it has got to come in, because we have to have a kind of a society ethical enough, well behaved enough to govern money, it's money that comes in, because if not, people will take money and start to buy drugs and crack cocaine just like I used to do. And now, hey, that will just bring us to an end that we don't want.
The executive is collaborating with tourism groups and Ministry of Tourism and Legal Affairs to come up with ideas for the Grand Bay area. Members of the Grand Bay, mainly bus drivers, taxi drivers and hoteliers, were invited to hear the plans of GTEC.
Stakeholders, bus drivers, hoteliers, vendors, but more so the residents, the tour guides, the cultural dancers, the music makers, but even more so the residents in general, the homeowners, because when a bus filled with tourists hit the alley or hit GTEC, it means that Grand Bay has got to be prepared. That is why we are sensitizing people as to what are our projections.
Renald Alkendor, member of the Grand Bay Village Council, says the Grand Bay community can do a lot and they are willing to work together as a unit to achieve their goals.
I want to say that we are not too open with a few things probably that need should have been done or need to be done in the community. But I want to give you the assurance that Council is willing and ready to work with GTEC and the Grand Bay community. Of course, Mr. Liverpool did ask, in his presentation, he did ask the Council to put a beautification competition in place. And of course, with my fellow councillor here, we will take it back to Council. As a matter of fact, we have Council meeting on Thursday. And I can assure you, I want to guarantee you, that on Thursday, I'm going to take it up, I'm going to put it on the agenda.
He says they want to see more cruise tourism come to the Geneva area.
But at the same time, we all know what has transpired and probably what kept the Granby community back. And not because the camera is in front of me, probably I will go as far as saying that it is a lot of the negatives that has been done and said about Granby. And here comes a time when we all have to work together. We have to put my cousin, my brother, my sister, my father, my uncle. If it's he that do it, we have to work with GTEC, work with the council, work with the police, and get that culprit.
GTEC's vision is to develop Granby and the environment by implementing tourism and environmental programs that will benefit to the people through sustainable socio-economic development.
Dominicans who may be concerned of getting infected by a disease outbreak can rest assured that things are under control. Health Minister Honorable Julius Timothy has given the assurance that Dominica has a robust strategy in place to deal with a possible cholera outbreak. Cholera is an acute infection of the small intestine resulting in profuse watery diarrhea, vomiting, and dehydration. This infection always occurs by ingesting food or water that has been contaminated with the bacterium. Mr. Timothy says, and I quote, "We are prepared as far as cholera is concerned. The major thing is the IV fluids, and we already have a 40-foot container filled with those fluids, and doctors have been trained to identify and treat cholera," end quote. He is of the view that it is doubtful that cholera would be a serious threat on the island if it is confirmed here, since the bacteria mostly lives in stagnant water. The minister went on to say, and I quote, "Fortunately for us here in Dominica, we don't have stagnant water. Our water is running swiftly to the sea. So even if the disease does arrive here, we do not think it will be a significant way, but we are prepared just in case." A cholera outbreak was detected last month in the city of Manzanillo, a Cuban city of more than 130,000 residents, which has accounted for a majority of the 158 cases of cholera reported by the country's public health ministry. The outbreak was so bad that traditional summer carnival in the city was suspended out of fear that the disease might spread. However, cholera has not been detected in Dominica, but there has been recent outbreaks in Haiti and Cuba.
The Dominica workshop, organized by the Dominica Association of Teachers, Ministry of Education, and Canadian Teachers Federation, has come to an end. The workshop focused on early childhood education, literacy, numeracy, food and nutrition, and special education. Juanita Carbon, PRO of the Dominica Association of Teachers, says that teachers have been equipped to be agents of change and asked them to give something back to the association that has molded so many Dominica educators.
To whom much is given, much is expected. There is strength in numbers, and those of us who are gathered here, if all of us are members of DAT, can you imagine what a force we can be? At the opening ceremony, I heard the numbers mentioned by Mr. Fotowski, the numbers in Canada, and I said, only if all our teachers in Dominica, we are like a drop in the bucket, the number of teachers who are members. And today I sung that call and sent it out to all teachers here who are not yet members to become members of the Dominica Association of Teachers.
Chief Education Officer Stevenson Hyacinth asked the teachers that as they leave the workshop, they are part of the most wonderful profession. He wants them to remember that as a teacher, they make a direct, tangible contribution to the future of our country.
You make a direct, tangible contribution to the future of our country by helping students in your classroom to acquire the necessary knowledge, the proper attitude and skills. And you need not forget that. You are impacting on the world by being a teacher at whatever level of the teaching profession you are, from K way up to tertiary institution. Your impact on students' life is tremendous.
He is certain that teachers have received a great opportunity to be grounded in certain philosophies and ideas, but more so in the belief that every child can succeed.
I think that is the foundation of your teaching career. If you are grounded in that belief, that every child can succeed, you will make that concerted effort in your classroom to ensure that every child succeeds. Is that so? Can we get that from you? I'm looking for the commitment, I'm really looking for that commitment, because if we can agree, and you can agree with us, that every child can succeed, you are going to do in your classroom everything possible to ensure that every child succeeds.
He says they need to have that passion for teaching because in the classroom they must inspire, motivate, and challenge students to develop their individual strengths and talents. Owen Fotoski, team leader of the Canadian Teacher Federation, says during his time with the special education group, he hopes that what they have discussed will be put into practice.
And I'm hoping that everything that we have done together over the last 2 weeks, we've talked a lot. I hope now when you get back to your schools that you're ready to walk the walk. And it's very, very important to take the skills that we've learned together and transfer that to the students here in your country so that in the future your country will be as good as it is today.
Participants of different groups presented exercise of what they've learned. They also received certificates for completion of the workshop.
Police Public Relations Officer Inspector John Carbon has confirmed that the Dailies Police is conducting investigations into a road traffic accident which occurred on the Pittisavan Dailies Road about 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, 25th July. It involved bus registration number HE429 driven by Kyle Simon of Dailies with 15 passengers on board. While on its way to the village, the bus encountered difficulties on the hill which resulted in its overturning. The occupants were transported to the Dailies Health Center where they were treated for minor injuries. However, 2 passengers, Alan Joseph, a police officer, and Nia Sorrento, who were more seriously injured, had to be transferred to the Princess Margaret Hospital where they were admitted. The bus was extensively damaged and investigations continues into this incident.
Captain of the Dominica Inter-Schools Volleyball Female and Basketball team, Ms. Joelle Brown, is urging all her teammates to think team in all aspects of games that they will be playing in Grenada for the 2012 Windward Islands Inter-Schools competitions. Ms. Brown, who was speaking shortly after volleyball practice match in Point Michel on Wednesday, July 25th, says the team is ready.
For the Windward Island school games, I think that we will be victorious. I know that as a fact for the women and for the men. I am very confident in the volleyball. For the basketball, our preparation with Mr. John has been very strenuous and I know that it will pay off. We have a lot of new players on the female team, but I believe that we can come out victorious. For the men team, a lot of the veterans are there, only 1 new player, so I know that we'll get the championship. And the netball, Sanabi has worked with us a lot, so we will execute what we have practiced. I can guarantee Dominica that.
She pointed out that playing for Dominica is a feeling of national pride. However, this is her last year on the team after 5 years of participation.
I would just like to tell everybody listening out there that representing your country on a national team, be it the junior team like the Windward Island game or a national team, it is indeed an honor, and I am so proud to have been a part of that for 5 years. You understand? It builds your character and it does a lot for you as a person.
Ms. Brown says that as captain of the team, she always makes sure that she will exude positivity all the time so that the players always fed off her energy.
To the listening public, I'd just like to say look out for Dominica when we come back. We're going to come back with the overall championship. Hope to have a motorcade when we come in from the airport because we are going to come out victorious. I'm very confident in my team this year. To my fellow players who are listening and watching this, I would just like to say, dig deep, never give up.
Coach of the men's and women's volleyball team, Mr. David Tuse, says they have been training vigorously for a number of months in which they have been focusing on both teams' weaknesses and strengths.
Training under this condition, on the hot sun, this is what we expect to face when you go to Grenada. So we've been training under this condition, but we know it is. But coming here today to play against the national team, it's just a challenge for my boys, because we know whenever we go out there, we're going to make a strong team as like on this level. So coming out there tonight, just to prove that's how we can, cope and how we can coordinate as one team.
The coach said that in 2011, the women's team came in second, while the men came in first. But they are going to prove themselves to the Grenadians to win the championship while making Dominica very proud.
We need support all through, no matter wherever you are. So I just need Dominicans to have faith in them, and we know for definitely that we're going to prove to Dominica that we are champions, we're going to maintain the championship.
Both the male and female teams held practice matches. The team leaves Dominica for Grenada on Friday, July 27th.
The saying, "Life is what you make it," was really proven as chairman of the Maho Committee, Mrs. Annette John Charles Stedman, made a presentation to centenarian Mr. Henry Lapinard, better known as Madu. Mrs. Stedman had informed us that Maho has 5 centenarians and she feels that they need to be honored.
Today we have been honoring our centenarians. We know Maho have 5 centenarians. We have been honoring them, and we have had baskets, compliments Belfast Estate Limited, to give to all our centenarians this morning. We have visited Milutin Francis in Jimit, Josephine Henry in Maho, better known as Seme. We stopped in Check Hall, where we saw Muriel Boyd, and now at the infirmary we are seeing Mr. Henry Lapinard. And the 5th centenarian is Bishop Bowers. Everybody knows that Bishop Bowers is living in Ghana, in Africa. And these baskets are all compliments of Belfast Estate Limited, and that is part of our reunion activities to honor our centenarians.
She went on to say that she is very grateful for the contributions from the Belfast Estate, and words cannot express her gratitude.
We are happy that Belfast Estate could partner with us to honor the centenarians, and we're happy for them. We are happy that they have paved the way for us, that we should know that these people could make 100 because of the life they live, and that's an example for us that depending on your lifestyle, that you can make it to 100.
Mrs. Stedman says that she, along with the Maho Committee, feels proud to know that their community consists of 5 centenarians.
We feel proud to know that Maho could produce 5 centenarians, that our community, we are a classic set of people, and we feel very, very, very proud to have 5 centenarians alive at this point in time, and I'm sure we are the only village with 5 centenarians at any one time.
She goes into further details about the gift baskets that the centenarians received.
The gift basket is filled. There is oatmeal, there is juice, there is sanitary products like powder, deodorant, napkins, a lot of food stuff, and everything that they can use is there.
Mrs. Stedman says not most people live up to 100, and this is the main reason why they should be honored and appreciated. As part of increasing student tourism to Dominica, a total of 16 students seeking to be social workers recently completed a stay on island. The students who were from Guadeloupe were on island for a study tour which went on from July 12th to 15th. Marketing executive of the Discover Dominica Authority, Ms. Daphne Vidal, explained the purpose of the visit.
The purpose of their visit was to familiarize themselves with the issues of social work in Dominica. And as part of that visit, they also got to speak to persons employed in the Ministry of Social Services, and a visit to the Operation Youth Week, as well as visiting various sites and attractions in Dominica.
Ms. Vidal says this is all part of experiential learning, where students travel to other countries to something educational, while at the same time visit and learn more about another country. The students met with officials of the Ministry of Social Services and Operation Youth Week and various side attractions.
We find that when these students come, if they are younger students, they can encourage their parents and other persons to come back because of what they have learned in Dominica. So it's not just about visit, it's tying in the educational component of their learning with a visit to Dominica. We have had groups of students from primary school, high school, and universities coming to Dominica. And because Dominica is an English country, you find that the French students or the French teachers want to organize visits to Dominica so that their students can improve their English speaking skills.
Another group of 35 persons from the Koreka Association visited Dominica during the time of the social worker students.
We welcome the student visits to Dominica, and we are developing a program to encourage student visits to Dominica and also visits of groups for who are interested in strengthening the ties, the links between Guadeloupe and Dominica, Martinique and Dominica, since they are our direct neighbors, and yet because of they being a department of France, it makes it even more difficult for them to know about us, to know about our culture and our history, and there are so many things that we share in common.
The main objectives of the Koreka group was to strengthen ties with neighboring islands through discovery, meeting, cultural exchanges, and solidarity, while the group expressed keen interest in learning more about the Kalinago heritage and culture, and concluded their stay in Dominica with a visit to the Kalinago Barana Aute. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.
Extraordinary is only a step away. One run, many people. We are behind